evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Homegrown Hip, brought to you by B-Town Jazz and jazzbooks.com. I'm John Porter, president of B-Town Jazz, and this evening it's my honor to introduce the Dillingham Dobbins Ward Trio, a brand new ensemble with Christian Dillingham on bass, Sean Dobbins on drums, and Greg Ward on saxophone, all of whom are recent additions to the Indiana University Jacobs School of Music Jazz Studies faculty. In addition to some great new music tonight, we'll hear a conversation with VP of B-Town Jazz Chris Parker as he sits down to discuss the illustrious careers of these amazing jazz artists. Enjoy the episode. I'll be back with you in just a little while.
Guys, thanks so much for being with us on Homegrown Hip, B-Town Jazz's series that we're doing in lieu of the B-Town Jazz Festival this year. For obvious reasons, we've had to cancel that, but we're thrilled that we get to deliver some great jazz to our audience. And very excited to have Sean Dobbins, Christian Dillingham, and Greg Ward with us. They've been playing some excellent music for us. And just had a couple questions that I wanted to ask you for our viewers to give some insight on what your roles are here at Indiana University, what got you started playing music, what you do in your professional lives, etc. So, Greg, I'll start with you. What has it been like directing a big band? This is your first year doing that here at IU. And just tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, it's been a real treat. Number one, in these times where most opportunities to play together are shut down due to COVID. So I feel like all the students are so excited just to be together, playing together with your peers and other people who are hungry and excited about this music. And I feel the same way, having an opportunity to be in the room with people, no matter that we're kind of spread out, to make sure we adhere to these specific guidelines. But we're in the room making music together, learning, growing. And for me, this is my first time ever leading a big band. Now I've clinicked many big bands all over the world, but I realized that it's just been for like an hour or something like that. And then maybe we do a concert together, but I've never directed the band for an entire show, or for an entire semester anywhere. So this has been a learning experience for me, finding repertoire, trying out tunes that I've written in this context, finding new music. For example, I called a friend of mine, Joe Clark, who's a great trumpet player, arranger, composer in Chicago, and asked him for some pieces, and that really worked out in the band. And so everybody had fun. We all learned a lot. I definitely learned a lot, and it was a really wonderful semester, and I'm looking forward to next semester in this context.
Christian, I've got a question for you. You are a rare individual on the bass. Not only do you play classically, you play classical with the Chicago Lyric Opera and too many other orchestras to name, but you also play jazz, R&B, soul, etc. And you've played with Bobby Broom, John Legend, I could go on. How do you transition between these genres, and do you feel like what you learn in one genre transitions to another and vice versa?
Yes, I absolutely believe that each one informs the other, and the thing that I love about playing the bass is it is in almost every kind of music, and so you find within that a common thread that exists in any genre, and usually the bass's role, is going to be the same in any ensemble or genre. So I definitely think that each one only enhances your knowledge of the other one. I think playing James Brown music absolutely helps your time and rhythm for playing Beethoven and vice versa. So yeah, for better, for worse, I've never been able to stick to playing one type of music, because most music that I love to listen to, I want to try and play. So that's kind of how I've been active in various types of music.
the greatest piece of advice that any of you have received from a musical mentor of yours?
Well, for me, I'll say that, and this wasn't a musical mentor like that I had a personal relationship with, but Branford Marsalis, who I could say he mentored me through his music, his records, his work ethic. When I was a kid, when I was 18, I remember I had a friend named Maurice Brown. Still have a friend. He's a trumpet player, great trumpet player, and we kind of grew up together. And we had this thing when we were growing up that we wanted to sound like our heroes at the time. And for me, it was Kenny Garrett, and for him, it was Wallace Roney, or Nick Payton, So we were spending all our time learning their solos, learning their licks, catching their vibe, and we got pretty good at copying these people. And then one day I played him a recording of maybe one of my combos at college, when I was a freshman. And he listened to it, and I was proud of this. He was like, "Sounds good, but, you sound like a saxophone player I know." And I was like, like he said it like it was a bad thing. I was like, "What are you talking about, man? That's what we've been working on. Like, we're supposed to sound like our heroes. I'm sounding like Kenny Garrett. That's what I'm supposed to do." And he's like, "No, man, we got to have our own sound. I want to have our own. I want you to have your own sound. I'm going to have my own sound." And I just had no idea what he was talking about. So I figured, well, I'm gonna find out. So I just, some kind of way got Branford's email address and Greg Osby, and maybe a few other people who I thought had original sounds. And I wrote them a letter asking them how to find my own sound. And Branford and Greg wrote me back, but what Branford said really stuck with me. And he was just like, you don't find your own sound, it finds you. And he said, just practice your craft, and your voice will come through. And I was like, I didn't really understand it then, but now I understand it completely. So like, there's nobody who could beat me, or Christian, or Sean, or any other saxophonist, right? People spend a lot of their time trying to be somebody else. And you listen to people in history, and that was the worst thing you could do, was to sound like anybody else. But that's what people spend their time doing today. And so, as long as you practice your craft, which you can model after the greats, your heroes, then eventually you make the choices, you have the flexibility to make the musical choices you want to make, and those choices nobody else could make. So that was something that was very, that sticks to me today. So, yeah.
Mine is kind of loaded, but I had one instance in high school where my jazz band instructor teacher was a great Blue Note recording artist, Lewis Smith, who played with Cannonball, played with Tommy Flanagan, and he was in Horace Silver's band for a while. And he was my jazz band director in high school too, right? So I got all of this knowledge in high school that I didn't even know what to do with, right? Because I'm getting all this stuff, and probably, maturity aspect probably wasn't ready for it yet. So, who is at that time? That's Maddie stuff. But I was one of those kids in high school where I thought everything was funny, so I was constantly laughing all the time. And I was in the library, and I was supposed to be studying, and I had a friend in there, and it takes one person to start giggling, and it's over. And you can't help it. You're laughing. And the librarian said, if you were on the football team, I would go talk to your coach. So since you're a musician, I'm going downstairs to talk to your jazz band director and tell him that you were like laughing and giggling in the library. He says that you weren't bad, it's like that you're supposed to be studying. So I'm gonna go tell him that you're supposed to be doing your studying and you were like laughing with your friends. So I walked into jazz band rehearsal, and I came in and like nobody was there. And I'm like, what's going on? And my jazz band director and my symphony band director were right there waiting. And just looked at me and said, have a seat. And it was scary. And they looked at me and they said, we spent years getting to where we're at, learning this music, learning this craft, and learning about education, learning about inspiring people, learning about mentorship, and learning how to take this serious. And it's been passed on to us. And my jazz band director looked at me in the eye and he says, and now it's your turn, and are you telling me right now it's gonna die? And it just hit me right here. And what I learned was that it's all bigger than us. And he taught me the idea, he taught me two things. He says, think as a mentor, not an educator. Not as a teacher, or excuse me, think as a mentor, educator. Don't think yourself as a teacher. Don't just keep kids lessons and push them out of your room. Care about them. And he taught me love students as if they're my own. And that's I live by that. You know, love them as, take extra time with them, spend time with them, and love them as they're your own. And take this information that we're giving you, this gift, which, because it's a gift. And he taught me that it's a gift, and the only way I can really appreciate it is how I hand it to the next generation. And that's my job. And it's much bigger than somebody giving you the information and you go out and you have your list of people you're playing with and you're gigging and you're touring. It's way bigger than that. It's about, what did you do with it? Did you pass it on? Did you inspire somebody? Did you change a life? Did you make someone's life better? Did you play in a way in the bandstand that enriched somebody? And so when he said those words, after all this in history, we come to you, we bring this to you. You're gonna tell me it dies. And I'm not a real emotional person, but I got teary-eyed at that point, and I just really was like, now I get what this music's about. I thought it was just you come and you try to get first chair, and you try to go get gigs, and I thought that's what it was about, and it wasn't. And that day forward, that completely changed my life. And so now I live my life in a way of whatever I get, it's my job to get it, understand it, receive it, and get ready to pass it to the next generation, and make sure that I never become a teacher. I always want to be an educator and mentor. That's what's most important. So that's what I was taught. That was my biggest advice ever.
Well, it's great to hear about all of your mentors. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know, speaking for myself and the other students here at IU, we're really excited to have you be those mentors for us. And so thank you for what you do.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for being on the 4th episode of Homegrown Hip. It was a pleasure to hear your set and a pleasure to talk with you all this evening. And we look forward to seeing you hopefully at the 2021 B-Town Jazz Festival, performing live on stage in some shape or form.
There we go. Yes, sir.
Thank you guys.
I'd like to thank our very special guests on Homegrown Hip this evening, the Dillingham Dobbins Ward Trio, with Christian Dillingham on bass, Sean Dobbins on drums, and Greg Ward on saxophone for a truly outstanding performance. Thank you so much for being with us. Special thanks to Chris Parker, B-Town Jazz Vice President, for conducting that very insightful interview, and to our series sponsor, Jamie Abersold at jazzbooks.com, and all of our community partners for supporting us throughout the year. Thank you. For more information on B-Town Jazz, visit us online at btownjazz.org, where you can make a tax-deductible donation, subscribe to our online newsletter, or become a volunteer. For brand new episodes of Homegrown Hip, be sure to tune in the first Saturday of every month at 8 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or as always, btownjazz.org. For B-Town Jazz, I'm John Porter. From all of us to all of you, happy holidays.